Okay, so welcome back to another Original Voice podcast. We're here with the incredible Franz Von, a high-energy hip-hop afro-fusionist where rap meets spoken word and social commentary. Franz Von is best known as the high-octane MC of much-loved afro-fusion kings KOG and the Zonga Brigade and nationally renowned jazz fusionists TC and the Groove Family. Franz, not only are you a really incredible musician, you've been a very humble man when we've worked and met you. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Franz Von and I'm there, that's how we say it.
There.
Yeah.
So where's that from?
That's Jamaican, yeah.
Jamaican.
Yeah.
So you come from Jamaica, now in the UK.
Yeah.
How has that journey been for you?
That's probably one of the biggest moments in my life. Moving to the UK, it's just like total different culture, and like I'm obviously I've been in the UK longer than I lived in Jamaica now, but you never sort of forget where you're coming from or lose any of that.
Yeah.
So,
has being brought up in Jamaica been a big thing on the music scene for you?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be, but yeah, it is. It definitely sort of helps in some way because like Jamaica is known for having like great musicians, and so I think and like the reputation of good time and vibes, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it helps in that way.
Which is very much relayed in your music too.
Yeah.
Every time I've listened to you or worked with you on an AV Live, and in that room it's just high energy.
Yeah, man.
How would you describe your music to someone who's never listened to it?
I feel like it's a mashup, a fusion of all the things that I like, the things that I enjoy listening to, things I like performing. So yeah, it's and I feel like I've got a really good taste. So
yeah. No ego there.
No.
Where does your taste come from?
You know, it's I think growing up in Jamaica, it's just a music heavy country. You know, your neighbours play it loud. People in the cars play loud. No one ever says turn that down. You know what I mean? You can hear music all the time. Artists in Jamaica get a lot of respect, and I think just growing up there and having that music background, and then moving to the UK and then discovering more new music that I've never heard before, like weirdly enough, a lot of pop music that I don't even know what to say about that because I don't do pop or anything, but it all influences, it all falls into the same pot and they cook it together. So working with KOG and the Zonga Brigade then opened my doors for like African rhythms, African music, high life, Afro beats, you know. So it's just all that got added to the pot. At one point I was focusing more on drum and bass and doing live drum and bass sets, drum and bass radio performances. So there's just everything that I love. Now I get to put it in one pot and fuse it all together and make something.
What would you class your genre as, if you could?
At the moment, I class it as hip hop afro-fusion.
Hip hop afro-fusion.
Yeah, because the bass the underlying thing is usually hip hop.
Yeah.
And even if there's no hip hop sounds in it, my approach is hip hop. I know hip hop's like a culture, so I feel like I approach it in the same way that would a pure hip hop project. When
did the sort of Afro beats come in for you? Because do you hear a lot of it in Jamaica?
You do hear a bit of it, but at the time, I was listening to like some high life music in Jamaica. I used to just call it old people music, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know what it was, and at the time I thought it was more Latin music because of the sound.
Yeah.
So I've listened to it in Jamaica, but it's like maybe it just seeped in. They weren't at the forefront of mine, and then starting to work with KOG and the Zonga Brigade, that just like opened my eyes to more. And anything I do, I get into it fully. So went in the history of high life and Afro beats, and just try to find out who was doing what, who's doing what now. You know.
So you almost study it before you start producing it, and you start thinking, okay, these have been successful, so if I emulate this, then I can be successful, or do you just kind of...
No, it's just if I like it,
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. If I like it and I enjoy it, if I don't enjoy it, then I just leave it to the side. I have to enjoy it personally.
Cool. Do you recall a time in your life where it was kind of the changing point between you not playing music and you being involved heavily in music? Was it quite sudden, or was it you started dabbling here and there?
Yeah, I'd say I started dabbling. So I can remember my first experience. So I'm going to one of my friend's house. He was a rapper at the time called Lancelot, and he always had his stuff set up ready to record. And he's like, yeah, jump on the mic, record something. Went with my brothers, and we all had a go, and mine was so shit.
Yeah.
That I was like, you know what? I think I can do something better than this. If I knew it was going to be recorded, maybe I'd have thought about it a bit more, but this is shit. So I'm like, yo, can I come back to your house? Gonna do some more.
Yeah.
Did it again. Every time I went, I did a bit better, but always thought it was shit.
Yeah.
And I'd always leave thinking, oh, I can do better. So literally, that's how it started, just dabbling like that.
Did it form from poetry at first, or did it just form from how can I make this rhyme? Like where did it become a time where you were interested in producing music as opposed to spoken word?
So let me think about that. It's a similar thing. Like I finally wrote what I thought was a song, full song, and going to the studio and recording that, and like being totally gassed by it. I've made a song.
Yeah.
Like it's an actual song, and I showed the person who first introduced me to rap, Lancelot, and he was like, yeah, this is great. You just need to give it a bit more space. Because I like a rap from the start of the beat to the end, you know, just everything. And I remember him saying that to me. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I love it as it is, you know what I mean. And that always come back to me about giving it space, you know what I mean. So yeah, I think then once I realised that, I'm like, okay, then I can make a better tune. Each time it's just literally try to make something better than the last one.
Nice. Because so you came in and did an OV Live with Jordan and I, and that was 3 very different songs, I'd say.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I guess the question is, how the hell did you filter that? Because you've been involved in so much music. How did you filter it to, I want to do these 3 songs?
That was a hard process.
Yeah.
We decided as a band, how we're gonna approach it, and there's a little segue that we did for the session. We did that specifically for the session, and we liked it that much. Like every time we've played since then, we've just kept that section in, you know. So and it's I was trying to show. It's hard to like say, okay, this one tune is what we do as a band.
Yeah.
So given the opportunity of 3, it's like it opens it so much more, you know.
Yeah.
Even more than 2 songs. 2 songs still not enough.
Yeah.
So I feel like 3 just gives someone in the audience like a bit of a taste of like, okay, we go here, you know.
Yeah. I think it comes back to you growing as a musician as well and allowing songs time. I think your live session was the longest live session we've had.
Oh really?
But it's probably the quickest passing.
Yeah.
Because it's so entertaining. Like you're a very good performer. You've obviously mastered your trade. Like, do you recall a time when you knew that you were good?
That's a hard one because I'm super critical of myself. I hardly ever think anything's good. You know what I mean? I went for years thinking that's okay. The next one will be better. Do you know what I mean? So
is that still happening?
No, now I feel like that's a good song.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and if I just think it's okay, I'd never release it.
Yeah.
I have to think it's good and I enjoy it. And I try to look at it from the listener's point of view.
Yeah.
Or if it's a live performance, I want to look at it from the audience point of view. If I was in the audience, what would I want to see? And what I'm doing now, is that even entertaining?
Yeah.
If I was watching, you know. And then do the same with the songs. If I was listening to it, I have to step away from it, step outside myself and listen as someone who doesn't know me or know anything.
Yeah.
Here's a song. So I do it that way.
Do you base your music off of what you, still to this day, do you base it off what you like? Or is there something in the back of your head saying a crowd will like this?
So it's got to be, I've still got to like it. I've got to like it and enjoy it. And then sometimes, some of the things I'm like, I love this, I think the audience will enjoy this as well.
Yeah.
Do you know, some songs that I like are my personal favorite. I don't think it's one for a live audience. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. So at the end of the day, I've still got to like it.
During a gig, would you change how your set is to how you would do a live session, for example?
Yeah, yeah. Everything's tailored all the time. Yeah, because if I've got some songs that I'm like, yeah, this. Sometimes I listen to them, I'm like, this is something that you need to sit down and listen to. I probably wouldn't do that at a live show.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and it's I try to judge the audience as well, not judge, analyze. You know what I mean? So I might think, okay, this is a festival gig. Let's do the set for a festival, like a festival set. But then on the day, we might still say, the audience is like this. Let's switch it this way.
Yeah.
You know?
So if the audience are up here, you completely adapt what you're doing. If they're a bit more chill, you'll again come down a little bit.
That's it. Yeah. So I actually love doing sit down gigs. So when COVID happened, and we have to have those sit down shows.
Yeah.
I didn't actually mind it. I like doing strip back stuff sometimes, and just because I feel like people listen more sat down as well a lot of the times.
Yeah, a lot of your music is very hard hitting lyrically, isn't it? And I guess that can sort of be lost when the music's up here, but the lyrics are very they're very here.
Yeah. So when that happens, I feel like, okay, this is a chance just to hear the music, enjoy it. If you enjoy it enough, maybe you'll go and find it and listen to it again.
Yeah.
And you won't be in the same space, so you'll be in a different space, and then maybe you'll hear the depth of it then.
Yeah. Do a lot of your influences come from sort of personal experience, or are they more kind of fictional stories that you just kind of, in your own head and you're like, this would make a good song? Or are you like, okay, this happened, I'd like to write a song about it? Because a lot of your music's, I guess, political.
A bit, yeah.
In a way.
I don't want to go too political, but
it
is because we live in a political society.
Of course.
It can't avoid it. Affects every part of your life.
Like one of your songs in our live session was, I forgot the name of it, but the Babylon System song.
Yeah. That one hasn't got a name.
No. Okay, there you go then. Honestly, I was on Spotify earlier, like Babylon System, because I wanted to listen to it like properly recorded.
I get that a lot from when I do my live shows, and someone said, I want to find this song, and I'm like, that song was just for live,
So coming back to the influences, is it a lot of how your life has just evolved and you write about it, or is it you just have an idea and you write about a song?
It's a lot about my experiences and how I see the world and how things are. So but less than 50% of the time I'll sit down and say, I want to write about this. Some I'll have if it's a produced beat and I've already got the beat, I'll just put that on and see how I feel and go for it. Sometimes I don't know where it's gonna go. Sometimes it's more intentional. The times when it's intentional is if I'm thinking about writing a EP, or like I've done this is my first album actually, so that was intentional. The writing for that was very intentional. If I'm working with someone else, so it's a collaborative thing, and then I think, okay, what does this person want, or what's the song about? And I've tried to hit it on the head and be as specific as possible and really intentional then. But a lot of the times it's just whatever comes. Yeah.
So you'll be sat there listening to a beat.
Yeah.
So do you just freestyle it? You just kind of sat there for a bit?
Yeah, freestyle it a bit. One of the techniques I do, I listen to the beat and I think what kind of flow goes with this. And the words might not be there, so for example, I might just be like da 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 da, and then I'm like, that's a flow matches really well with this beat. So then I find, I'm going back to the whatever, and we go, you know what I mean, and match that, So that's how I write a lot of the time, especially if it's on the spot and in the studio, and like when I need to write something before I leave, then it's just sounds. It's just rhythmic sounds.
Nice.
I'm probably more of a percussive rapper, so I'm on the hits.
Beat. Yeah. As a poet, what's the alternative?
I feel like more flowy.
Yeah.
It's hard to You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not writing. I don't actually do that. When I started off doing hip hop, yeah, I was. But
Yeah.
I feel like I've matured a bit, and there's so much social problems and issues. I feel like I can't waste the platform or the opportunity I've got just like chatting about badness. So I try to do something that's either going to be inspirational, or it's got some sort of message, or it can change your mood, you know, something like that. Yeah.
You write a lot about social injustice in the world.
Yeah.
Listening to what I've listened to, which is probably 10% of your music, if that.
Yeah.
You get the whole feeling that obviously you're a good guy, and you're battling toxicness in the world.
Yeah.
Do you kind of do that more so for home, or just around the world?
What do you mean?
I guess what I'm trying to ask is it more you look at where you're living now and you look at Jamaica and you feel a certain way about that, or do you just follow the news and what's happening around the world and then do songs around that?
I used to follow the news a lot, but I don't anymore. I've switched off the news. It's depressing, man. It puts you in a state of fear. It's depressing. It's hardly any good news. It's all bad news. It's like literally just put it on to hear bad news, and it'll be like international bad news in that country over there. But then there's things going on around us all the time, which is still, there's enough bad news around us. So I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? I don't need the extra.
The pots are overflowing for inspiration, basically.
Yeah, and we kind of, most people already know how the world is sort of operating and the injustices and unfairness that's going on. So it's hard to, I find it hard to avoid speaking about it or writing.
Is that, why do you write about bad things?
I want it to be better. I want it to be better for everyone. I'm like, not like, oh, I'm gonna change the world. Nothing like that. I just feel like I could be like looking at something on the news or some bad shit that's happened, and you want to talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's like speaking about it
almost your way of spreading the word about what's happening,
or just something cathartic to get it off my chest. You know what I mean? And then, if I listen to a song like that, it makes me think as well and maybe speak to someone else about it. So I hope the music does that.
Yeah.
Which can then lead to change. If it's like one person, if it affects one person in a positive way, then that's all you need.
Well, if I started doing some research into Babylon after our live session and why you wrote that song. And I guess if other people do that for your music, then it's a win for you, really, at the end of the day. Speaking of,
it's a win for them. Cause,
of course. Speaking of new music, got a new album coming out.
Yes. Do you
want to tell us a little bit about that?
Very excited about this. It's been a while in the making because I've been doing music for quite a few years, as you know, and I've been on albums. I've done an album with KOG and the Zonga Brigade. I've done an album with TC and the Groove Family. I've featured on other people's albums, but I've never written an album for myself. This is the first time, and I've got to shout out Chris Mail, who sat down in so many sessions, me and him just producing it, coming up with ideas, and then Philippe and Paulo bringing in their ideas, and it's just a commitment from those guys to have the same vision and execute it.
Yeah. Shout out to Paulo, by the way. He's still to this day our favourite drummer.
Everybody loves Paulo.
Everyone loves Paulo.
He's a real madman.
And the band in general just technically gifted. I guess is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, they're good guys.
I've never seen James, our producer, nodding his head so much.
Oh, nice, man, nice. Rhiannon, she's unofficially part of the band as well, and it's a shame I couldn't get her in on that day. She plays sax, but she's a singer-songwriter herself, one of Sheffield's finest artists. Yeah. So I was like so honoured that she said she'd love to play sax in the band, and I was like, whoa, nice. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. If you could describe the music that Franz von Band? Yeah? Is producing, how would you describe it to someone who's never heard it before? It's a little bit different to your kind of heavier stuff, right?
Yeah. I'd still say it's hip hop, afro-fusion, but with this new album, everything I like is in there in some way. So it's a big mashup. It's a fusion, but then I didn't want to go for something that just sounds that just sounds brutal, like, oh, it's a bit of hip hop here, now it's some drum and bass here, and we just mashed it together. It's not like that. It's fused tastefully together. So there's a track with a bit of drill, and high life, and it starts off with African rhythms, you know what I mean, and then it switches to a bit of drill and high life, which those two things you wouldn't think they'd go together. Then we've got like a jungle, hip hop and jungle, and the jungle just comes through so, I can't think of the word. It's just subtle.
Yeah.
But jungle, it's just all tasteful done. It took a while to get the right fusion.
How important is it for you to have inspiration from sort of all over the world, and just completely different genres, and then you just go, okay, this could work with this one, and you just go bang.
Yeah.
Because it's so different.
I feel like it is important. Everyone does their own thing, and some people are purists, and they're in. When I was doing drum and bass, a lot of people in drum and bass that won't do anything else. It's that, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But I just have to be true to myself, and I love a bit of drum and bass. I love a bit of hip hop. I love some high life. You know, I love soul, jazz. I like everything. You know, you don't keep yourself caged into one box. And I'm like, well, if I like that, and I feel to do something on that. I'm not forcing it. It's not like, oh, I must add that in. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, it's just stuff that I like, and putting that together and trying to get something out there that's easy on the that I want to put out there.
Nice. Speaking of new things, you have a new Instagram.
Yes.
What happened, man?
This is where the accent switch up. I'm have to say. The people them thief me Instagram. I don't know how it happened. It's bots or whatever, but from what I can work out, it's changed my age to a child's age, and Instagram and Facebook like, hey, you're not old enough to be in here, get off, and I've been kicked off. You know what I mean? And it's just hard to get in touch with anyone. You can't. I don't know if you know, but you can't speak to anyone.
Meta terrible.
It's just like a massive corporation with a robot at the front, you know what I mean? And this bot just keeps sending me in circles. Like, man, I need to speak to someone.
How much of a knock-on effect has that had? Like, I guess social media now is huge. I guess you're lucky in the fact that you're quite old school, being only 30 years of age.
Yeah, so it's like, I am old school, and I think, oh man, it was so cool when you just went out on the streets and put out flyers, and it's more word of mouth and, you know, stuff like that. And then social media is here, and it's just like, wow, this is brilliant. You can do all this stuff, but it's just a two-sided beast. You know what I mean? It's so helpful, but so
you become toxic at the same time.
And you easily become reliant on it. And I feel like that's what I've done with my social media. When it first went, I thought, I don't actually mind. It's a nice break. I'm stressing myself out trying to post every day, so I'll have a break. And then like a day later, I'm like, actually, I've got an album coming out, and I feel like this is probably 90% of where I get my bookings, do my announcements, any new projects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's had quite an impact on me. It's actually made me consider delaying releasing the album, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna push forward. That's what we do as musicians.
Yeah, cool. So for anyone interested, what is the release date for this new album?
The album is actually coming out in June. There isn't an actual date yet. There is, but I don't want to say the date yet, just in case it changes, but June. I'll make some announcements on the actual dates. So if you want to find that out, please follow my new Instagram page. It's Franz Von Music. The first single will be out on the 13th of March next month.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is the name of the song?
The name of the song is Go My Way. Go My Way. Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about going my way.
All I can think of is you can go your way. What's it? I can't remember who it's by. You should have sampled it.
Maybe for the remix.
Yeah. What message should people get from your music?
So my last release was my EP called People the Power, and that was about empowerment, trying to just make people remember that they've got power as well in the society, and together as a community we've got so much power if we look out for each other and so help each other. So it's just like following on from that. I feel like I want people to feel empowered and move forward with that. But following in from that, I thought, well, now that you might feel empowered, how do you direct that and where do you go with it? And this new album is called Take What You Want, and that's sort of leading on from that with a whole new vibrancy. So it's like, it's about literally taking what you want with being very assertive, not aggressive, being assertive, and remembering that you're just as important as the next person. You can own the space as well. You belong in any space that you're in. So be assertive, and if you want something, go for it as fully as you want. It's almost as if you're just taking it because it's already yours. You deserve it. It's yours. So having that in mind, you can sort of focus and do whatever steps you need to do to get that thing. I feel like that's what you guys do with OV, because I'd never heard of it before. And then I heard of it, and then you're just doing your sessions. I've seen you doing some merge stuff. You've got this thing, and it's just, I know you did mention this then, but I feel like a lot of the time people say, I'm going to do this thing, and it never really happens for whatever reason. But once you say and you want to do this thing, go take it. It's yours.
Just do it.
You know what I mean? Just do it. Yeah.
You got an idea. You can be and do sort of whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So following on from that, would you say your music is kind of almost a journey through time, kind of pushing people to do what they want? Because obviously you've highlighted issues in the past, and now it's kind of an adaptation of that. And now it's leading people to almost inspiring.
It's almost like a guide, without telling anyone what to do. You know what I mean? Like, here's some examples. Here's one I made earlier. You know, this is what this person did, and this is how it worked out. This is what this person wants to do. You know what I mean? So it's like a bit of guidance.
If people were to listen to your music, would you recommend listening chronologically?
For this album, I would recommend it. Me and Chris have sort of lined the tracks in a journey. So by the end of it, you'll be celebrating. Midway through, it's more introspective and more thought-provoking. But by the end of it, because I try to link it to my live shows as well. It's not just in the studio or in your house listening. It's outside as well. It's interactive and connective. I want people to make connections and links. So by the end of it, you should be feeling like, yes, I want to go outside and meet people and do these things and be inspired. I want to go take what I want.
I'm excited to listen to this. I had a question for you just then. Okay, I think I know the answer to this, following on from what you just said. Would you rather... We're doing a would you rather section later. This isn't the section, it just came to my head. But would you rather have perfection in the studio, so people listening on Spotify and Apple and stuff, they listen to the absolute best version of you? Or would you only rather people see you live?
I'd love to say both for that. I'd prefer live. I'd prefer people only... If it's one or the other, I'd prefer people only see the live.
You delayed longer on that than I thought you would. Yeah,
because also it's both. You kind of want both, because if you've got the perfect sound in tune, and you don't know how many people might stream it, so how many people that message might reach. But I like maybe it's because I'm old school. I like the speaking face to face. So if you had said this podcast on can't think of the platform, Zoom, it wouldn't be as appealing to me than coming in and, you know what I mean? That's the first thing I ask you, where is it? Like, is it going to be online or not? And I feel like you make more, because it's a human way, you make more connections speaking face to face.
It's emotions as well. You pick up the emotions in the room and stuff like that.
That's it.
I just saw your eyes light up when I said, would you rather? Because you know the section in the podcast that we have.
I love would you rathers as well.
So moving... Go on.
Oh, sorry, just saying, when you're being on stage as well, you can see the audience, you can see the reactions. A lot of the times, not that you're leading it, but you're there, people have come to watch you, so whatever mood you're in can translate into the crowd or transcend into the crowd. So it's just better connection.
Sure. So halfway through these questions, I'm going to ask you to decide the next part. Would you rather have a this or that on Jamaican and British differences, cuisines, drinks, or would you rather have a would you rather?
Let's go for the Jamaican English.
Jamaican English.
Yeah.
So, Jamaican or England? Jamaica or England?
What do you mean?
This or that? No, I'm joking. We won't drop
maybe I
into
don't know how
that.
to play the game.
Okay, so first one, jerk chicken or fish and chips?
Jerk chicken.
Yeah, absolutely all day.
Boom, bam. Because fish and chips, it's all right. I'm not going to diss it, it's all right. But it's not jerk chicken.
Yeah. Can you cook?
Yeah.
Do you normally cook Jamaican food?
Yeah, I do.
I'm assuming, have you learnt that from, that's been passed down generations to make the best?
Yeah, my cousin, Shireen, she's just, she cooks the best food. I'm nowhere near that. My mum cooks excellent. Yes. Have you not seen me in the Hendo's book? I've got a recipe. I've got a couple of recipes actually in the Hendo's cookbook.
In the Hendo's cookbook?
Yeah, man, yeah.
No.
Oh, bro.
You personally?
Yeah. I've got some Franz one Hendo, just Franz one Hendos.
No way. Why do we not know this? Like, we're trying to work with Hendos at the minute.
Oh, really?
On some like adverts and stuff.
Okay.
If we knew this, we would have definitely
Let's
got some.
try and get in together on, because I want to work more with Hendos. You know
Henderson's
what
Relish, if you're listening to this, Franz Von, Original Voice Media,
Yeah.
we want to work with you. That's insane.
Yeah,
How did you manage that?
When I played the main stage at Tramlines,
Yeah.
just before I left the green room, someone noticed some little bottles of Hendos. I was just like, these are cool. They've left us Hendos, and then looked at it and it's like Franz Von on it. Like, I was just like, no way.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then a few months later, I got a message, would I be interested in partaking in some chefing in this cookbook with master chefs and celebrity chefs. I was like,
yes.
yes.
What did you make?
I made
Fish and chips.
I made brown stew chicken with rice, and what was the other thing? I forgot what the other thing was.
Was it, I'm assuming, Jamaican dish?
Yeah, it was a Jamaican dish. So it's basically a dish that goes well with Hendos.
Okay.
And so I had to
It's
really
like a
think
stew
about
or something.
it. So the brown stew, because it's a stew, the Hendos really well with that. Oh, it was cabbage.
Okay.
Cabbage. It was sort of vegan, because I went for both. I went for something for vegan, some meat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So yeah, Hendos with cabbage, fried cabbage. Man, it's so nice.
Good. I feel like you're going to have to cook. Oh, we should do an OV Franz Von cooking show. Sponsored by Henderson's Relish.
Bro, Henderson's, where's the
Wait,
Henderson's. You heard Hendos, big Hendos, yeah.
Big up Hendos.
Let's make it happen. You know, actually, I got so many messages people saying, can I bring one of the Hendos bottle to the gig? Like, oh, I want to buy these Hendos bottle, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Because we do merch and stuff like that. The only thing we've ever been offered is beer cans. It's like we can get like official beer cans made for people.
It sounds like you're talking Jamaican now.
I was in the back of my head then, I was like, beer can. I've been telling myself, don't do a Jamaican accent.
You've done it now.
Did it by accident. Patty and cocoa bread.
Yes.
Oh no, or a Cornish pasty.
Patty and cocoa bread.
Is there anything I can say food-wise to sway you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What is patty and cocoa bread? It's like coconut
patty is
milk.
like a pastry.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like a pasty.
Okay.
But spicier and more flaky with the pastry. The cocoa bread is very soft, sweetish bread. It can really mold it in.
Yeah.
So you get a patty in the middle of that when it's hot and just smash it together.
I can see your excitement when you're talking about the food.
I've got a funny one. In Jamaica on a Friday special, we always used to buy patties.
Yeah.
So I was just carrying on the tradition. I went in and I thought I saw a patty. I was like, can I have a patty? And she was like, pasty. And I was like, no, patty. She was like, pasty.
You ordered a
and I was just
pasty.
like, what does she mean? It's a patty, but yeah. And then just randomly a Jamaican guy was in the shop as well, and he walked in and he was just like, yeah, I pasty them call it here, my you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, so I got it. And then I realised it was a different thing. I was like, you
And
know
you're
what I
like,
mean?
nah, yeah.
But I love pasties now. It's grown on me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because as much as you are Jamaican, you're very much a Yorkshireman.
Yeah. I've been here a long time. My stepdad's born and bred Sheffield, white guy. You know what I mean? So yeah. When he was about, he's died now. But when he was about, it was full Yorkshire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd walk in the room and say, "It's like a bloody oven in here." You know what I mean? And he's always cup of tea. You know what I mean? Straight away. So yeah.
Speaking of tea, sorrel or English breakfast tea?
So this is a tricky one because I have English breakfast tea every day. You know what I mean? Sorrel's more like an occasion.
Yeah.
Christmas especially. So I'm gonna have to go with the tea for this one.
Okay, damn.
I know, man.
I don't actually know what this next one is. I've done research on the rest. Bammy
Yeah.
or crumpets?
Crumpets because I've never liked bammy.
What is bammy?
It's like it's made from cassava, which cassava flour, which instead of like, what's flour made from? Normal flour.
Wheat.
Wheat, yeah. So instead of wheat flour, it's like cassava flour, and I never really got used to the taste. My grandmother used to make it a lot, and that's also like you have that in the holidays with fish, and I never really liked it. Okay. All the Jamaicans are like, "Who's this guy?" Sorry, guys.
But I guess in Jamaica, food, music, probably the two biggest things that you bond over, I guess.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, food, music, and women.
Women.
Yeah. it's a very macho country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Reggae or Britpop?
Reggae.
Of course. I honestly was going to change that, but I was like, I don't know, you might have like a soft spot for...
Yeah. If you had maybe another genre.
What genre would fit? What English genre would... Indie?
I'd have said reggae.
Rock.
So I'm just...
You know what I mean?
Reggae.
Reggae. Sound system party.
Oof.
Or Glasto?
Oof. I'm going to say Glasto because you can get sound system party at Glasto. It's all at Glasto, Everything's there.
Carnival in Kingston or Carnival in Notting Hill?
Bro, I've never been Carnival in Kingston. I've never been to a big bashment thing in Kingston like that, so I choose it because of that.
Because you want to experience it?
Yeah, but Nottingham Carnival, man, it's one of the best things in the world, so that's a tough one.
Gizada? Gizada?
I don't know.
Alright, moving on. Box juice or Ribena?
Box juice. Yeah.
What's box juice for those that don't know?
It's just juice. It's like orange juice. You can get orange flavour, pineapple. The box is pretty big, and it's just a bit nicer than Ribena. It's
just super sweet.
Super sweet, yeah. I forgot how sweet the drinks in Jamaica were. I think they're more like American drinks. Yeah. Really sweet.
Just like because you got sugarcane's native to Jamaica, right?
Sugarcane, yeah.
So you just whack it all in.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest exports, so the sweetness is there.
Yeah. Ragamuffin or pork pie?
Ragamuffins it's not food.
It's not?
No.
What's well, no. Dare I ask what a ragamuffin is?
Ragamuffins like a bad man. You know
what
I mean?
What?
Like, no one's, so the guy that runs the sound system can be a ragamuffin.
It's not a muffin.
It's like, it's more like a bad man. You don't want to mess with these guys, the ragamuffins, you know what I mean?
So I'm assuming pork pie.
But I don't like pork pies as well.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had pork pie.
Alright, fight a ragamuffin or fight an English chav?
English chav, because you don't want to mess with the ragamuffins. No. I thought you were going to say fight a pork pie. Bro, I'd smash that pork pie.
Port Royal or the Tower of London?
I've been to the Tower of London, but funny enough, I've never been to Port Royal.
No?
So I'd like to visit.
So just purely we want to go.
Yeah, and it's going to be hot and sunny, so yeah.
Duns River Falls or the Peak District?
Duns River Falls.
Bro,
really? You can't do that if you've ever been to Duns River Falls.
I thought you'd maybe like have some nostalgic attachment to the peaks.
I love the peaks because, like I said, my stepdad, he was born and raised in Sheffield. He was an outdoorsy person. He did a lot of climbing, a lot of walking in the countryside, cycling, and I was always out with him. And you know what I mean? And my daughter is carrying on that tradition now. She's always outdoors. So I would, in another circumstance, if you had something else, but Duns River Falls is amazing, bro.
Yeah. I feel like this next one is just a really bad question based off everything you've said, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Ask it.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, who's like a classic English artist who could even compete at a level? And I wrote down the Beatles.
Okay.
So it's Bob Marley or the Beatles.
They're both great, but it's just such a different way. I think only person or artist that compared to Bob Marley would be like Fela Kuti.
Fela Kuti?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, you need to check out his music, man.
Yeah.
He's died. It's just so parallel with Bob Marley. I feel like he's a Bob Marley of Africa. Some people might slate me for this, but both of them were like inspiring for the generations and carrying on after the death. They spoke for the people, and the kids are carrying on the same tradition. Yeah. Which it's just amazing.
And they're British?
No. Fela Kuti is Nigerian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And his sons carry on the music just the same as Bob Marley's sons carry on.
To me, as a white English guy, there's a connection between Jamaican music and African music.
Yeah.
Why would you agree, and two, why do you think that is? And you use a lot of African music in your own music as well.
Yeah.
When do you think that connection happened?
I think that connection's always been there because with the diaspora, a lot of Jamaicans are descendants from Ghanaians, Nigerians, Togo, I'd say, maybe Gambia, the west coast of Africa, because that's where the slave trade happened. So a lot of people were brought over to the Caribbean and specifically Jamaica. So the links have always been there. One of Jamaica's national heroes is Nanny of the Maroons, and she was supposed to be maybe like a princess or a queen in wherever she's from in Africa, Ghana. Do you know what I mean? So the traditions and some of the words, some of the food, and then music, it's been linked. It's always been linked.
Yeah. Speaking of African influence, especially on yourself, you've worked with KOG.
Yeah.
Who is KOG?
KOG is an artist from Ghana.
And
grew up in the UK, lived in the UK.
You've worked on his biggest song.
Which?
I forgot the name of the song, but it's got 4 million streams on Spotify.
Okay, and that's possibly, I think I know the song.
I mean, I can fact check it.
Soronipa. Is it called Soronipa? I feel like that might be the biggest song.
Soronipa?
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually one of my favourite songs from the album. So, you know, I'm saying this is my first album ever, but that's an album that we wrote together as well. But this is my first solo sort of album. Yeah.
You did that with the Zongo Brigade that we've spoken a little bit about. You've mentioned them a bit in the start of the process, in the start of the podcast.
Yeah.
Who are they? Where are they now? And I guess what were they?
The Zongo Brigade actually used to practice in this building, just the room, your room. Your room, bro.
It's a small world.
Yeah. So it's weird turning up here like, oh, this is where we started out. There's been different iterations of the musicians that play for KOG and the Zongo Brigade, but throughout it's been me and KOG fronting the band. At the moment, we've sort of working on our own solo projects and, gone in separate directions. So that's where it's at the moment.
Yeah. What artists have you enjoyed collaborating with the most throughout your time?
A lot of good times with KOG and the Zongo Brigade because we got to tour around Europe and we did some amazing shows, Glastonbury and stuff like that. Now with TC and the Groove family, it's just greatest group of people ever.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about the TC and the Groove family? Because the 10-piece jazz sort of oriented,
fusion,
a
UK,
bit of everything.
Yeah. UK
and you've got people from all over the world working on it, right?
Yeah.
Is that, like, working with people from all over the world, do they all have an input into how you produce things, or is it very much you have the idea, they produce that idea?
It really varies, but most of the times, I'd say Max, Beth, Hannah, these are members of TC and the Groove family. I feel like they're the biggest writers. So someone will come with like a big chunk of idea, and then everyone else adds their little bits. When I first started working with them, they'd send me almost complete songs, and then I'd add the lyrics. But now that I'm fronting the band and with them, well, I'm part of the band now, full time. I'm so more involved in the writing process, and I'm not just getting a full song and then adding my lyrics on it. We're all in the same room together now.
How is it working with a 10-piece band?
It's challenging, but it's great when it's like when it's a good group of people with the same goal and same mentality. It's so much easier because some of them used to live in Leeds. We've been all over the country living, and at the moment most of the band lives in London. I feel like this is the most together we've been because so many people are in the same city. Then you've got Paulo in Leeds, Tim in Malvern, I'm in Sheffield. So to arrange... Malvern? Yeah.
It's a trek.
Do you know Malvern?
Yeah, I used to live in Cheltenham.
Oh, right, okay. So I'd never heard of it until I met Tim. Yeah. I'm like, what's this mythical place?
Yeah.
It's a great place, by the way. Yeah. And weirdly enough, when you're there, it feels a bit seasidey, but it's no sea close by, just how the houses are. Yeah. So just arranging a practice, for example, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, of course.
But then because we all come together and it happens, then it's more of a satisfying feeling because you're like, man, I didn't think it was going to happen. And it happens every time. We always link up for rehearsals or socialising if we can, and we'll make it to the shows.
I always find with jazz-orientated artists as well, they're very good at improv.
Yeah.
So they're just, I guess you don't have to rehearse as much as...
Ooh,
tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I know it's jazzy, but we do...
Got to be perfect.
Yeah. We aim to, if you hear on the record, it'll be almost identical, but with more live and vibrancy because it's live. So yeah, we wouldn't improvise a section unless that was a goal. So the songs you hear online, you'll hear them when we play, just more energy.
Would you ever collaborate with someone in a genre that you've probably never done before, or you don't? I guess you don't even like. So
yeah.
Sheffield.
I'm an answer. Yes, I would. Yeah.
More so speaking about Sheffield music, right? So indie rock sort of music.
Yeah.
Would you ever even think about it?
Yeah, if I like it, that's the thing. If it like, I keep saying the same thing. If I like it, then it's good to go. One of the most unusual collaborations I've done with Mark Stoney, who's more indie, not quite pop. Like if it's pop, is like the really cool end of pop.
Yeah.
We did a track called Swarm, and that's like a 3/4 rhythm. Like it's not that easy to rap to, and it's quite. I don't know. I think if someone heard that track, they wouldn't think I'd be on it. But I loved it when I heard it, and I wrote it instantly. Sometimes that happens. Like someone will send you a track, and it's so good. You can play it in the email before you download it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll write it before I download it. You know what I mean? Because it was one of those moments, and it was around lockdown time as well. So we had the space to do it, and So I would if it's something that sounds good and I like it.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
It's quite nice that. How long have you been involved in music now?
Intentionally, I'd say 15 years.
15.
Yeah.
It's quite nice that you just completely stayed true to yourself in that time.
You have to because it's hard work trying to be something you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I find it easier because I'm just being myself, and also no one else can be me better than I can. So I'm not competing with anyone.
Yeah.
And you just just being yourself. Like I'm expressing myself, so it's gonna be hard if I'm not being myself. You know.
I really like what you just said. It took me a second to clock then, but you're not competing with anyone.
No.
Because there's no other you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we're all different,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people that just think, oh, this person or this group is so good. Like I can't stand on the same stage with them, but then you can because they're doing that and you're doing this. Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of standing on stage with people, do you have any bucket list moments left? Like, do you have a certain person that you'd want to perform with, or a certain venue that you want to play at?
Nas is one of my favourite artists. So, but then I wouldn't just be like, I want to perform with Nas. I'd rather watch him, you know what I mean, or listen to his music. Lil Sims, I'd love to collaborate with Lil Sims. She's amazing. Well, when she was performing at Glastonbury on the West Hall stage, the last time I was at Glastonbury, I didn't have tickets for the West Hall stage. Have you been to Glastonbury?
I've never been to Glastonbury.
You can't get to some of the main stages. You can't get backstage. You can't get to all the stages. I've just realised what I'm saying. You can't get backstage to all the stages, but I tried to get backstage everywhere. Only place I haven't been backstage at Glastonbury is the Pyramid stage. Next time I go, I'm going to make that happen, whether I'm playing or not. So
and it's going to be with Little Sims.
Yeah. So after one of my performances, I blagged my way to the backstage of the West Hall area, and while she was performing, just like I was just at the side of the stage just enjoying it, and at one moment she turned around and she just said hello to me, and I was just like, hey, you know what I mean, like, and everyone around me were just like, oh, like, you know that, and I'm just like, and I don't know why that happened or happened, but yeah. So
do you still get starstruck when you meet famous people?
I've never really been starstruck with anyone, because people are just people, and I'd only be starstruck if I met Michael Jackson, and it's too late for that. Michael Jordan, because I used to be, basketball was life at one point for me. Yeah. That's probably it.
Do you have a venue that is bucket list?
At the moment, what's it called? Coco in London.
Okay.
Because I played with TC at the House of Coco, which is it's like the private members club connected to Coco Club.
Yeah.
And the green room that they put us in was the backstage for the main arena. And right at the end of the night, I opened the door and I realised where we were, and I looked in, and it looked like the old theatre style where seats are going up like that. And it just looked amazing. And I already know about that venue, but to actually stand in there and feel it like that, I'm just like, man, this is now on the bucket list.
Yeah, nice. That kind of brings us to the end of the serious questions, right? Okay. Jordan's got a question for you, and he's asked you what your favourite drinking spot in Sheffield is.
Favourite drinking spot?
If you go out to drink.
I don't go out to drink a lot, but I like Hagley's Corner. Like, it's just cool. I love the courtyard there.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
In 2 days, we've got an open mic at Hagley's Corner that we're running.
Okay. See what I'm saying about you guys? You know, always something else. Yeah.
We would absolutely love you to come. I know it's short notice. It's in 2 days.
What day is 2 days from now?
Thursday.
What way on Thursday?
If not, every second Thursday of the month, we're running an open mic from Hagley's, and it would be an absolute pleasure to have you there.
Yeah, man. Okay, please just send me a reminder and messages.
We'll do.
Yeah.
But Hagley's Corner is a great drinking spot.
Yeah.
And we've not endorsed this whatsoever. We just enjoy working with you.
I like Yellow Arch as well.
Yeah.
Like, nice vibes there. Just because I don't drink a lot, it's Showroom Cinema is a cool place to hang out as well.
Yeah, man. Cool. Well, we're going to end with a quick would you rather. Just would you rather. Very simple questions. I'll only pull you if I feel like you stutter on a question.
Okay.
I feel like I know this answer. I feel like I know you quite well from speaking to you for about an hour. So, paid £1 million to never play music again, or play music and never get paid again.
And never get paid again. How would I survive? $1 million to never play music again.
Yep.
Nah, I don't think I could do that.
Because do you teach as well?
Yeah, for tracks. So I've just with some of the young people now in there's a new youth club that Lucy Rivas, the director, just opened. This is second session, and walking in, it's like a real back in the days youth club.
Yeah.
Because of course all the youth clubs around the city now, you know, so you can go in there and play pool, mess about on the drums, there's writing sessions, a bit of everything, there's computer games. It's a great spot on
What's your
Main
role
Street.
there?
I'm a mentor. Yeah, so for tracks, I'm a mentor. My main thing is working with young people to improve their writing, performance, skills, yeah.
Nice. I bet it's so rewarding.
It's the most rewarding thing
Yeah.
because it actually helps me with my music as well.
Yeah.
If I'm there all day writing lyrics with the young person, by the time I get home, I'm like, man, I've got so many ideas. I just want to carry on writing.
There's multiple social issues, I guess, at a youth club, and I guess, it comes down to money. You're working with a lot of poor people at places like that. You're working with young kids who might never have something that another kid will have because of the area that they're brought up in. And
that's it.
Things like that.
So Tracks provides a lot of that. There's excellent mentors there. Like Philippe, Chris in my band, Paulo, we're all mentors.
Yeah.
Paulo does it in Leeds. We're doing Sheffield. The people who's featured on my album, Lucy Rivas, she's a director of Tracks. She's an active musician. Rhiannon Scott, she's also a mentor there.
Nice.
So all the mentors there are like gigging musicians. So there's a lot to offer to the young people.
So I feel like with you guys all mentoring, we're going to get some serious musicians out of Tracks soon.
1,000,000%. You could have some of them do a session actually now.
Yeah.
They're that good now to do live
Maybe
sessions.
it's worth a conversation between
I'd
between us
love
at the
to,
end
because as soon as I said that, I'm thinking of a few young people who are ready to go.
Yeah. Cool. We'll have a conversation after this
let's
podcast.
do
You
that.
might see Tracks slash OV.
Bro, let's check on it right now because that's such a good idea.
Oh yeah. Still not dodging the question though. £1 million to never play again.
Okay.
Are you taking it? Here's
I'm
a check.
not taking it. I'm sorry. Sorry everybody. No,
that £1 million.
I can't. Well, if I might take the check and just move somewhere else and come back out fresh, new artist.
Fake moustache. Okay, number one in the UK, or a legend in the Jamaican music scene.
You know, my music isn't that. I don't have any followers in Jamaica to that compared to the UK, so that would be wicked. I'd go for a legend in the scene, and I'd say why? Because sometimes I've gone on holiday to a random place where there's probably no black people or anything, and I get there and they're just like, I'll mention I'm from Jamaica. It's like, Jamaica, Bob Marley, and I get treated so well. And I'm like, Bob Marley, once again, thank you for being a legend. Yep. Years later, it's making my life better, you know, so I'll go for that.
Yeah. And I guess at the end of the day, you do it, it's legacy.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
That's all I want to do is create, to leave something behind that people are actually going to continue to watch like down the line. And I guess with music, money's great, like you become a star, all that kind of stuff, you make a living, but if your kids are talking about you and you're a legend, I guess that's all people ever want to do it for.
Yeah, and it's not just the money, because a lot of successful artists suffer with mental health. It's just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Party in Kingston. Mm-hmm. Is it Kingston or Kingston?
Kingston.
Yeah.
It's however your accent is.
Yeah. No more Jamaican accents. Be I can. Party in Kingston or party in Ibiza?
Party in Kingston. I've partied in Ibiza. It was all right.
Yeah.
It was
Kingston parties are just different
next
level.
Yeah. And at the end of a night out, you can just go outside and get jerk chicken rather than
better than a kebab.
Fish and chips.
English winter with no coat, or Jamaican summer with no AC?
Bro, that's the hardest question of all. and weirdly, I'd have to go with English winter no coat, because you can do that. You can do something when you're so hot.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. No. You need external things to cool you down, while being cold, you can use your own powers to try and get warm. And I've been there in Jamaica.
And with your music as well, you're lively, you're bouncing around, jumping.
Yeah. You'll die in the heat.
Never go to a pub again, or never go to a cafe again?
Never go to a pub again.
Okay. Only ever eat sweet food or savoury food?
Savoury food.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'd only eat savoury food.
Only eat savoury?
Yeah.
Okay. Give up. What is your favourite drink and what is your favourite food?
Bro, you can't live on just sweet food alone. But you can live on savory food. Yeah.
This is for the next question.
My favorite drink. I don't think I've got a favorite drink. I love a variety of drinks.
This didn't help the question. Give up your favorite food forever or your favorite drink forever.
I'll give up my favorite drink forever then.
Yeah. Because what's your favorite food?
Rice and peas and chicken. Ackee and saltfish. I've got a lot of favourite stuff going on.
Jamaican food just slaps, doesn't it, a bit?
Yeah, it does. So I can't give that up. I'll just drink water, bro.
Yeah. And just eat like a king.
Yeah. Bring my water. More water, please.
Lose all your photos in your phone or lose all your contacts in your phone?
I've lost all the photos in my phone before. I've never lost all my contacts. So yeah, lose all the photos. I can't lose all my contacts because people, man, we all need people.
Yeah. Cool. Sort of brings us to an end, to be honest, of the podcast. We always ask if you've got any questions for us at Original Voice before we finish.
No, I'll say when this going to be aired or soon, but yeah, I'm sure I'll find out. Anyway.
I mean, hopefully before your new album, that we'll try and push as much as we can.
Okay. Do you know my new Instagram handle?
Franz Von Music
Look at him,
is your new musical handle.
Yes, okay,
we've already followed you, we've already shared it on the story, but check out his Original Voice, OV Live, sorry. It was an incredible session with some fantastic musicians. Franz, there's only one thing left for you to do.
Okay.
And we always ask people to play an outro music for us.
Okay.
Next to you have bongos and something else.
I thought it was a seat.
I don't know what it is. If you
something.
play whatever you'd like, and we can just fade this to black.
What a walk, go pumpkin belly, could I tell you like fables? I ace up, brother, with the bars on the melody. God in the melanin, arm, leg, a leg, arm, head again. All of the great, go get it in. All of the fam, all my distant relatives, all of my kinfolk, get it in. Take what you want, give me everything. All of the wisdom embedded in, all of the mind intelligent. Know about the lies they're telling us. Know that the world is mine, a divide so generous. Know that the snake bite venomous. Tell them cause never trust nobody, never does. Wolf in the sheep close predators. Stood with the beast in the cold and I seen how to scheme and I seen how to bury us.
Yes. Oh man, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. Bless.
Absolute pleasure.
Big love.